Hi, good morning, everyone. Well, I'll tell you what, it's nice down here today. It's windy, and David's feeling good. David was in the hospital for a week. His COPD and his heart had a fight. Guess who won? David. I'm okay. They tweaked me for some medications. I got a little, I don't know what it is. I got something in my nose that hurts, and I got to itch it. Tweaked some meds, gave me some new ones, threw my lighter away, which I'll tell you what, it's not the amount of the lighter. It was a big lighter. It wasn't the amount. $1.99 every day. You know that. You go to, come on. I see you in the convenience stores buying big lighters all the time for $1.99. The idea behind it was that was in my personal property. Okay? Understand that. They did not write it down on my sheet for my personal property. The guy, the tech, said, well, we're going to have to confiscate this. Okay. I already know the routine of hospitals. Gosh darn it, I've been in and out of them since 2015. You don't have to give me that speech about what you need and what you don't need in there. I already know it frontwards, backwards. I could read it upside down, inside out, underwater, underground, everything. The problem was, and I know my hair is all messed up, I'm sorry. The problem was Monday, when I got ready to leave. Now, there was a nurse with this tech, okay? The nurse who was with the tech was checking me out. And I said, before I leave, I said, you guys took a lighter away from me. I said, I'd like to have it back. Well, it was confiscated. I was like, well, unconfiscate it. People, what he said to me, what his answer was to me, people in the hospital in both wards heard me. We threw it away. I raised a fit. Now understand, it's a $1.99 lighter, okay? Doesn't make a difference. The idea is they took it from me and they threw it away. Without my permission, which I'd never do. Without my permission, they disposed of some personal property. So, I called the hospital and I told this nurse, I told this nurse when we got outside and I got done yelling and screaming and, making everybody hear it. I said, the last thing I said to him, I will never, ever come back to this hospital again. I will stoop down to the lowest piece of gravel to go to this VA hospital here in Tucson. But I'm not coming back to that hospital. I called the administrative assistant, or the administrative offices, and I told the lady, real nice lady, I think her name was Dixie. Oh, I'm not tired. I'm just yawning. I haven't talked very much. I told her, I said, it's not this. It's not the idea of the lighter. It's not the idea. Well, it's, it really isn't about the lighter, or anything. I said it's the idea that they did this. Now, am I going to raise a complaint about $1.99 lighter? Not just that. I'm not going to do that. I told her, I said, Dixie, I said, yes, I smoke. Yes, I'm cutting back. But I mean, and it's an excuse. If I don't have anything to do around here, I'm watching YouTube and smoking cigarettes. I said, but the idea, the principle behind it is, I'm a veteran. What would have happened if I had one of those Zippo lighters? You've been in the cigarette store, and you've been in the truck stops and everything. You've seen them in them little Zippo display cases that has the emblem of the U.S. Army, U.S. Marines, U.S. Air Force, Coast Guard, whatever. Those are not cheap. Those are not cheap. They're $25, $30 for those things. And I told her, I said, what would it have been, I said, if it was one of those? And they came in there and they told me they threw that away. You ought to be calling the police, because I would raise 9 kinds of holy, and I'm going to say it, 9 kinds of holy hell. I'd have gotten in a fight with that nurse. I'm sorry, I told her that. I said that's unacceptable. You take something out of someone's personal bag, and it's their personal property, be it a lighter or an important phone call, or an important phone number, and you don't write it down on the personal property, but you throw it away. She agreed with me. She goes, that's not our policy. Well, no, it's not. It's not the policy of any hospital in the United States, including the VA. If you have something like that, they put it in your personal, they put it in an envelope, put your name on it. When you get ready to go, they give it to you. I was talking to the executive administrative assistant, and she said, Mr. Ross, she's like, this ain't even go to a formal grievance. She's like, I will personally, once I get done typing, this girl must have been a fast typer. She goes, once I get typing this, she said, I will take it to upper management. And there will be a formal complaint. Okay? Which means that that's going in their records. Okay? And since they have done something that wasn't protocol for the hospital, they could be very easily fired. Okay? I can tell them, no, don't do that. But I'm not going to, I'm sorry, guys. But I'm not going to interfere with their policies. Okay? I just wanted to let you know about it because, like I say, I know some of you people out there are smoking, and I know that some of you want it, that you've had the doctor, chomping on your butt to quit smoking and everything. Best way to get them to do that, to stop that, I knew somebody that was a heroin addict. He'd buy heroin, get a straw, and go just rock crazy on that heroin. And just, he'd do it until his nose was bleeding. Well, he finally decided to quit. He finally decided to come clean. But he told me, he's like, David, do you know that it was easier for me to quit heroin, all drugs, than it was for me to quit smoking? I told the cardiologist that, I told the medical doctor that, and they both agreed with me. Well, you know, the more pressure you put on a person, they're going to rebel. You ask a person not to do something over and over and over and over again, they're still going to do it. Okay? But if you tell a person, if you tell a person to do it, let's see, how did I go? If you tell a person not to do it, they'll still do it. If you ask a person to do it, they won't do it. Kind of a psyche in the mind. So, I mean, I'm turning 68 years old Thursday. I never knew I would make it. Look, as a little kid, I never even thought about wondering what it was going to be like at 30 years old. I got to 30 years old, and I said, you know, I wonder what it's going to be like being 40. You know, being 50. Being 60. Not 68. I've come a long ways. I've come a long ways. And there's a shirt out there that I would love to get. It said, how is it? I didn't get to this age by being stupid. It's true. So, Miko and Min and I are doing okay. Miko was mad at me when I come home. He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't have anything to do with me for a whole day. He got outside there and he's looking at me and he's looking up at me and just barking like crazy. I know he was cussing my butt out. I tried to make up to him and he's like, I'm not going to talk to you. You know, Min, she was all excited to see me. But, you know, if you have animals and you have to go to the hospital for, you know, an extended period of time, call your local humane society and let them know either you are in the hospital or you're being transported to the hospital, depending on if you're in the city or the county. The police will come or the sheriffs will come to your place and they will take your animals or your fur babies down to the Humane Society and board them for free. Okay? For free. So that's a little bit of a tidbit. Don't, you know, and I mean, I appreciate everybody doing what they can to help me, but don't sit there and wait until 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to come over here and let my dogs out. They need to be at least let out twice a day. That's simple. You know, would you leave your kid at home and go to the hospital for a week and have someone go, oh yeah, we'll go over there and we'll get, you know, don't worry about little Johnny or little Susie. We're getting it taken care of, and then only find out they're only going over there once a day to take care of them. I don't think so. So anyway, nice day, beautiful day. Man, I'm gonna have to get out here and do some stuff. Took my trash and everything down to the refuge transfer station. Got rid of all that stuff on that on that deck. Now I got to go out and move stuff around so that I can at least have some room to walk around on it and maybe sit down and enjoy this weather. So everything's fine. Everything's good. You know, wish you guys were down here. Wish somebody was down here. Man, I tell you what, it's beautiful right now. Beautiful. The wind's blowing. It's not really hot. You know, it's really not hot. I mean, everybody thinks Arizona is just like a furnace year round. It's not. It's a beautiful time of the year. You know, just before it gets to be 115 degrees. So anyway, I love y'all. You know, pray for me. I'll pray for you. And remember, hey, you know, if people are giving you a hassle about the way you live and about all this stuff you do, just tell them. The Apostle Paul said, I would rather be content being poor. Okay? I would rather be poor than to go out and win the freaking lottery or hit a jackpot at this casino or whatever. Yeah, it'd be nice. Hey, look, if I won the lottery, if I won a $2,000 jackpot at the casinos, brother, I tell you what, I'd be running out of that casino, getting in my car with that money in my pocket, and racing back here so fast you swear to God Satan was on my butt with his pitchfork. And I would get some stuff done. Love you guys. Peace.